Hey guys, emmy-lou here. Today I want to show you how to do an ancient Greek pottery. So it's going to be like a jug, and I want to base it on the ancient Greeks, and I want to draw loads of designs, and it's going to be quite large, and we're going to need it doesn't matter what size paper you use, but I probably would, if you're in school, you'd do an A3, but if you're at home, maybe do an A2, or you could do an A4 even. So we're going to do it landscapes. It's going to be up that way, and you're going to need a pencil. You might need a pen as well, and also I'm going to do probably watercolours, like watercolour pencils, but you can use anything. You can use paint. So yeah, get that ready if you can. Like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Just press the subscribe button. And we're going to start off today with just a pancake shape. So really nice pancake shape. I'm going to go and get a better pen because it's... So the ancient Greeks used iron-rich clay, so it was secondary clay. And what that means is it was clay that was like washed up from rivers, and it had all iron in it. So it was washed up, and there were lots of different places it could have come from. And the iron is what makes the colour in the clay. They used to paint it with watery clay, and that's generally when the clay was dry. When it was soft, they'd paint it with the watery clay. So then when it was baked, it would turn really amazing colours, and the colours that it turned was generally because of the iron in the clay. So we've got our pancake. We're going to do this now. Then touch the edge there, and you're going to go, so it's like you're doing a tummy of a capital D and then a C. Now we want to get this parallel, so what you could do is just do a dot straight across, because then you know it's going to get to about there. I'm not going to do it exactly parallel. I quite like when it's not exactly parallel, but if you can, it'll be good. And then we want to do this, touch the end there and go to here, touch the end there and go to there. So can you see what kind of pot I'm going to be creating? It's a really nice one actually, and it's going to have handles, and it's going to have the base. So what you want to do is a smile, and then you're going to come out. Now because it's a 3D pot, so it's got 3-dimensional to it, you want to go 1, 2. So it's 2 lines down, and we're going to do this, smile. So this gives it the form, because otherwise it doesn't really look like it's got form to it, it's got body. So then we're going to do the handles. I really like doing the handles. We're going to touch about here. So if you do a little line there and a little line there, then you'll know that the handles come out from the same thing. So we're going to go 1, and then, whoa. Now I don't know if that's exactly the same. It might not be, but just try and get it almost the same. It reminds me a little bit of a football, when you win a football cup, isn't it? And then touch down here, touch down there, and you're going to go, you can decide how big you want it, or how chunky you want it, but it's kind of got to end about there. So it kind of looks how I want it. Now at the end, you don't have to do this, but I quite like the look of just, if you just do that, it kind of looks like it's, I don't know, it just makes me think it looks quite cool. Now here, because it's got form to it, we're going to do a line, and now it's time to decorate it. So I'm just going to move this. So the ancient Greeks, there was 4 different types of designs that they did. They did geometric, they did black figure pottery, they did Corinthian, I can never say it, I'll write it down on the screen so you can see, and they did red figure. So I'm going to be doing a black figure painting, so it's a black figure pottery basically. So with the design that you do, you could do any design. You could look at a famous artist, so you could look at August Klimt, and you could do all the designs on his work. So you could just make up your designs, it doesn't matter, but it's quite nice to copy. I've copied different elements of the ancient Greek pottery just to get to my own designs. It's quite nice to look at different ones to get to your own. So I'm just going to do another line there just to make it look a little bit more 3D. Now, I'm just going to decorate it. So you don't have to do my decorations, but I'm going to just show you what I want to do. Then, I mean, it could literally take forever to do all the decoration, but that's what's fun about it. And what you could do is, after you've done it in pencil, go over it with a felt tip, because that will make it stand out, and it'll be really awesome because it's black felt tip, so it will be really nice. Then here, just another line. I'm going to do this type of shape. I saw it on one of the pots and it looked really cool. This is almost like a necklace of circles going around. And then, so I'm literally making up some of my designs, but I'm using what the ancient Greeks used as reference. So I'm making my own from their picture. And then line, it's all about the lines. Zigzags are lovely to do. It's a really nice design you can do, like inside. It's got a little bobbly bit. You could go on and on and on. You could decorate the whole thing. It looks amazing when you decorate it. Right, I'm going to do the ancient Greek man with his shield. So I'm going to do a circle there. Then I'm going to do this. 1, 2. So just have a look where I've done it. Then 1, 2. He's got a foot, so let's just put that in. So just try it, doesn't matter if it's a bit wonky. And then coming from here, 1, 2. So it's like a stick man, but we're going to colour him in because he's black. So the whole figure is completely solid black. So this is a head. Try and get it quite rounded. Well, it's gone a bit funny. So all we need to do now is I'm going to create a helmet. So it's the outline. So there's my helmet. And then all you have to do is go around the stick. So you're going to do this. There's a hand. Does that make sense? And you've got a body that comes down. There's your legs. You want a bit of a chunkier foot. Coming from here. Then you're going to colour all that in black. So it doesn't matter if you've got all these sketchy lines, as long as you've got an arm, a body, a leg and a head. Now I've seen in some of their designs they do swirls, which are really lovely. So I'm going to do a couple of swirls. There's a figure here that I wanted to draw. It's just like it's on the other side, it's a round, so you don't have to draw the whole thing. Right, now around here, do a little line, like a really faint line, and I want to do some close together circles. I just think it looks quite cool. So what's nice is just doing your own design. So use any reference you can that will help you. You want lots of different patterns. Once you've done that, we're going to colour it in. I'm smiling because I love colouring it in, it's just cool. So when the iron-rich clay gets baked, it turns red normally, but this one's going to be, I think I want a mixture of yellow and black, so I'm just going to get, I don't know if I've even got the colours. So I've got some watercolour pencils now. I think you could probably use clay, not clay. I reckon you could probably use chalks. So let's see. I think I'm going to do, I haven't got any colours. My watercolours aren't showing up. Do you know, I haven't even got black. Hang on, I'm just going to sharpen my pencils and get a black. Because black is awesome. Once you put it on, it just looks really good. Okay. These these are what I use, but it doesn't matter as long as you've got something that's, love them. But you don't have to use Caran d'Ache. Whatever you've got in your school, if you're doing it in school, is fine. Now, okay, it's kind of like an orangey yellow is what I'm going for the background. So I'm going to take this one and this one. Can you see it? So it's basically a reddy brown and an orangey colour, but you could just get whole yellow if you like. I think I might take yellow as well. Let's just take yellow as well. Now, there's some detail in this, but I don't want to put the detail if I'm honest. So what I might do, I'm going to colour all yellow there. So whatever you're using, chalk, paint. Paint's a good one actually, because this is going to take a while to colour in, I reckon. So before you put the colour on, if you've got any black felt tips, anything that's black, put it on the outline of all the pencil marks, because as you can see it stands out, isn't it? It's really nice. But if you're using watercolour, it's going to go a little bit smudgy. And what I mean by that is it's going to end up making the black bleed, so it's going to sort of run if you're not careful. I've literally got to sharpen this constantly. So this is yellow, I'm using yellow. Yellow is awesome to use because even if you go over your lines you can still see them, so it's quite good. So all yellow here, as much as you can. If you're doing paint, do as much as you can as well. Nice and bright would be good. Okay, right, so that's my yellow done. Take your time, don't worry if I'm going ahead. Right, now because I want to add the tone in, so the light, and I want to make it look 3D, I'm taking this one, which is the reddy brown. Doesn't matter if you go over your pictures, don't worry. And this is going to make it look 3D. Okay, now all we need to do, once you've done it, take your time, do not worry if you're not there yet, it's fine. I've rushed mine just to show you, but I'm going to go over now. My pen that I used is permanent, so that's why it doesn't run. But you could easily, once you've done the felt tip, you could actually probably outline everything when you've finished doing all the felt tip, all the painting. But just do what you think's right for you. So if it was me, I would outline it with probably a dark pencil and then go over it with colour. So with this brown, I'm mixing it in just on the sides like that. If you've got chalk chalk or let's just say if you've got chalk or oil pastel, you can get your finger and blend it in like that. So whatever I'm doing with the brush, you would do with your finger if it's chalk. And it's okay if it's a little bit messy, because can you see it kind of looks like it's 3D, it looks kind of cool. Okay, now obviously I've got all my black lines, so that looks cool, but if you don't, you could paint it in, you could go over it with black chalk, but you've got to let it dry a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a black, and I'm just going to, I want it to look 3D, so I'm not going to colour all of it black. I'm going to colour all there because that's like almost where the shadow is. I'm just going to do the outline that I'm going to leave in there because I'm hoping it will look a bit more 3D and almost shiny. So do the same for this side. I love using black and yellow actually. It just looks really cool when you put the water on. Oh. Got to sharpen everything. Okay, So roughly that is fine. Now this is watercolour, like I said, so if it's dry, you could easily get a black watercolour and go over it, or just get black paint. Depends how neat you are, because sometimes it's tricky, isn't it, to be neat with paint. Depends how experienced you are. Now I'm colouring this black. Right, now what I want to do is I'm going to get black again, only doing the edges inside. And pause the video if I'm going super fast, I don't mean to get enthusiastic. I just think, ooh, I love what it looks like when it starts to come together. Here, we're going to go round. It's a bit tricky for me to show you because I've got the board in the way, the easel. Like with the top, I'm not going to colour the whole thing in because it's a still life object, so it's still. You could do a shadow if you want to, but I'm not going to put it in just because I quite like just doing this. Now you're going to need to blend that in depending on what you're using. If you're using paint, then we can just paint over it. So if you want to use paint, do the whole thing black and then maybe do a little bit of white there or something. Now I've got this paint, it's quite chunky. It's acrylic paint. I'm going to try and get it out. I'm not going to use it yet. I'm going to get my water on my brush and I'm just going to blend. So it's pretty much mixing, that's what it is. Got to be vaguely neat. Try and be neat because I went over there, didn't I? I think using a smaller brush would probably be a good idea. Now what you could do, because to keep that lightish, can you see it kind of looks quite cool, like it's 3D. To keep it light, you've got to rinse out, wipe and then smudge over. Just so that's not completely black. So that's almost, we're almost done. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a smaller brush. This is the bit that I love. It's so fun. We're going to go round. Now I'm doing this with paint, but you could easily do it with black watercolour pencil. You could do it with a black colouring pencil actually, as long as it's dry, the background. Can you see I'm filling in the man with the, you could put a sword in his hand, couldn't you? Something. That look quite cool. I've done a bit of a big arm there, but that's fine. Okay, can you see it looks really cool, the black against the yellow. I really need to get a small brush because it really helps. So when you're painting it, if you are painting it, make sure you use the tip. I always hold it up straight like that and then just do this. It's like you're just doing it as neat as you can. You don't have to go around everything, but you know what? I kind of want to. Just colouring in this person because it's a man from the edge of the paper. He's sort of, you can't really see him, but he's round the other side. It just gives the picture a little bit more interest to it. I think this one's a nice one to outline, isn't it? If you can't do the outline like that, because it's just way too tricky, as I say, do it with felt tip if you haven't used chalk, because felt tip will get ruined with the chalk. I personally think drawing over when it's dry with either a watercolour pencil that's black or a felt tip is definitely good. So you can add to your design as you're doing this, like now that you've got the paint. Can you see it's really dark now? Like it looks really nice. Whew, it's hard to breathe. Can't speak when I'm doing this. Lucky for some. What about you? But I do talk a lot, especially when I'm doing art. Oh, it's quite heavy on the arm, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Now I've got all of these designs, so I'm not actually going to go over them. But you're going to take longer as well. Like, make sure you take your time because it's worth it. It looks awesome when you take your time. I'm starting to make mistakes because I'm rushing. It's not what you want to do. I'm going to colour in there. Okay. Now, just because I like to do the edge. Oh yeah. Gonna do that. Woohoo! Right, so that is my ancient Greek pottery, and it's my black figure pottery design, but I've taken a few other designs in there as well, and you could just decorate it forever. You could do loads. What I want to do, and you don't have to do this, but it might be quite nice, I'm going to take a really nice colour. Just because a lot of the pottery wasn't really particularly that colourful. I'm going to take a blue and I want to colour around it, and I'm going to almost do like a squiggle design. What I mean by that is it's like I'm scribbling. I'm using chalk for this, but you don't have to use chalk. You could use watercolour pencil, normal pencil, whatever you like. Reason why I'm doing this is because it gives it more colour and it looks quite fun, especially if you're going to put it on the wall. And I'm not doing it everywhere. So what it is you make sure, and it needs some dark as well, but you make sure you do it darker where there is, and then light, and then just come out and do it lighter. So I'm going to blend there, and then get my finger and just smudge like that. To be honest, you probably don't need to smudge most of it. You don't need to blend most of it. It will look nice as it is. But I just wanted to show you the alternative if you wanted to. You could obviously mix up colours as well, might be quite fun. Yeah, I quite like that. I love doing stuff like that. And you could choose any colours. Oh, smudged it. I've smudged it. Got a big tissue here that I'll blot it with. Okay, so that is my design. If you wanted to do more to it, I like the idea of green now as well. But yeah, you could go on and on and on. It just looks really nice if you. It just looks nice if you decorate the background, if it's gonna go on a wall or if it's for homework or something. But yeah, there is my pottery. Hope you like it. Like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you soon.